Hey everyone, I am back with another video. And today I want to talk some more about James Gunn's Superman, and I also want to get into a topic talking about should the Batman, like Matt Reeves' Batman, be a part of the DCU. But before we get into that, I want to shout out to our commenters. Thank you for the people who have commented. I really appreciate it. So let's get to it. Now, I'm gonna talk about James Gunn Superman first, and I want to talk about the people who going online. You remember the whole Lex Luthor and Superman scene? Well, that went online, and people kept coming out and say, "Oh, this Superman, he's way too emotional. Like, oh my gosh, like he's just way too emotional. He's a crybaby." And I'm like, can heroes can't have emotions anymore? Like Superman can have any emotions? Because if he can't have any emotions, then what's the point of the character? If he has like no emotion. And like one, you got your dog taken away, like man's best friend. You got your dog taken away from you. Like to be honest, and I'm just gonna say this out of terms, I think Spider-Man would do the same thing. I think Batman would do the same thing. I think a lot of heroes, besides for Superman, would have done the exact same thing. And people are coming online saying he's a crybaby. Oh my gosh, why is this Superman being too emotional? Like, and people are like, oh, Superman would have done this. He has done this in the comics. I forgot which comic it is, but somebody actually told me that Superman like has done this in the comics. Like he went to Lex Luthor's office, started smashing things because he was mad, and people like, oh, that's not what a Superman would have done. Like it's like people just don't want this Superman to be good. He has emotion. Like people are just coming online saying, "Oh, this Superman can't have emotion." If he can't have emotion, then what's the point of the character? Characters need to have emotion. And like you got your dog taken away, and for instance, man's best friend. Like if you get your dog taken away, be honest, you have probably done the same thing. Like and to be honest, people come online and say Superman wouldn't have done that. Superheroes wouldn't have done that. I to be honest, somebody like Spider-Man for instance, like Spider Green Goblin killed Aunt May in Spider-Man No Way Home. And he freaked out. He was mad, yelling. He wanted to kill Green Goblin. Now I know it's different. I know it's way different. Aunt May is a person, Crypto's a dog, but still, like your dog is your friend, your best friend. You're like your best friend. I promise you. If Ned died, it would probably have been the exact same thing that happened in No Way Home. You know, and people just come out online and say, "Oh, Superman, he's being a big baby. He's whining." Like, what do you want him to do? What do you want him to do? Do you want him just to go to his office and say, "Give me back my dog. Give me back my dog." But like what? At least we're getting a Superman. Like he ain't gonna be still like Henry Cavill who just said, "Give me back my dog," who's serious all the time. Like at least this Superman has emotion. He's telling Lex Luthor his emotion. You know, and then people just coming online saying, "Oh my gosh, this Superman can have emotion." Like, if he doesn't have emotion, then what's the point of the character? People kept saying, "Oh, the lines were cringe." I'm sorry, but since like when you said that, when people start saying, "Oh, the lines were cringe," I can't take your opinion seriously. I'm sorry. Like, I disagree. People come online and say, "Oh, it sounds cringe. It's so cringe." Like, what's cringe about it? He's yelling like, maybe like, I'm not gonna lie. Superman was finna go John Wick on Lex Luthor, but people kept coming along and saying, "Oh, it sounds cringe." I was like, I disagree. Like, it doesn't sound cringe to me. Maybe to some people it does, but to me it doesn't. It really doesn't. You'll have people coming online trying to, you know, talk trash. You know, there was it was a test screening. It was a early screening of Superman, and people got to watch it. I know a couple, like I think new rock stars. I think Jenks P went to watch it. They there was some reviews. People said it was good. It was really good. But you have that one person who comes out and says, "Oh no, guys, it was bad. It was bad. It was silly. It was goofy." And you know what? Fandom loves doing this. They love it. They'll after they hear that one person say, "Guys, this movie sucks." One person, guys, remember, one person says it. The entire internet, the entire I don't know, fandom or whatever, is going to come online and say, "Oh my gosh, dude, this movie's going to flop. This is bad, guys. This is so bad." You see people do that. You see people just like one person says it's bad, and automatically everybody believes it's going to be bad out of one person. And that's how the DC, the fandom we have right now is so it's just weird. You know, we judge this movie before the movie even comes out, and it's like what? Like we did that all the time. We always do that. We judge a movie before the movie even comes out. You know, we judged the actor for Heath Ledger. Um, yeah, we actually did. We judged Heath Ledger for becoming Joker, and guess what? He's like the best Joker of all time. You know, I think they actually announced that The Dark Knight is actually the number one best comic book movie in the 21st century. Um, I believe that's true. If I'm wrong, please tell me. But I heard it from somewhere. But people they'll just judge a movie. Like here's the thing: when the Superman suit came out, when that suit came out, I'm actually just gonna say set photos. Let's leave behind that whole first look, the set photos. Some people didn't like the suit, and okay, but the thing that really just like irritated me is that people kept coming online saying, "Guys, the movie is doomed, bro. This suit looks so bad. Oh my gosh, the movie's going to flop. This sucks. This sucks. This sucks." Off of a suit? The whole movie, like the script, everything, the storytelling automatically sucks because of a suit? Because literally, I hear people say that almost like every day. If they see something that they don't like, they automatically think, "Oh, this sucks. This is bad, guys. This is bad." Like, oh my gosh, this sucks. Like, that's where we at right now. We like off of a suit. The suit doesn't look good. All of a sudden, since the suit doesn't look good, the movie's not good. Like, what are we talking about? Just because you don't like the actor cast, like, because people just come online saying, "Guys, I don't like the cast of the actor. This movie's going to flop because of a cast." Like, it just they nitpick. Yeah, like the fandom does nitpick a lot. Like, I remember there was one YouTuber. I'm not going to say who, but I remember there was a look at there was like a picture of the suit, Superman suit, in like the Fortress of Solitude, him just standing there. And he was like, "Guys, at first it actually looks really good. Guys, they fixed up the suit." Next video, he comes on and says, "Guys, so I just he was nitpicking it. He was like, I zoomed in, I lighted just light the screen up. I zoomed in really closely, like zoomed in. He just light everything up." And he was like, "Uh-oh. No, it's baggy. Uh-oh, it's baggy. Uh-oh, no, the suit's trash. They did not fix it." My gosh. Like, what? You literally said at first, "Oh, the suit, that shot looks good," and then when you started nitpicking it, when you started zooming in and just lighting whatever you did, automatically say, "Guys, this shot looks bad," because you nitpicked it. It's like the tickets on sale trailer when people saw Superman punching the guy's teeth. I love that shot. I thought that shot was good. Um, and like I hear people all the time on YouTube saying, "Guys, at first it looks really good. It looked really good. I love that shot, but when I zoomed in, when I slowed it down, when I did whatever I could just to ruin that scene, oh guys, this looks bad. This looks bad." They're nitpicking it. They're nitpicking it. They're trying to find everything they can just to say, "Oh guys, this sucks." Like, be honest. Like, they do that all the time. The DC fandom, the fandom itself, just they nitpick. They just like all because of a suit. The suit doesn't look good. Automatically, the movie sucks. That's where we're at right now. But I don't know. People will come online saying, "Oh, guys, you see James Gunn's Superman destroying buildings," and they were talking about Man of Steel. Here's the thing: Man of Steel destroying buildings. I never had a problem with that. I thought um, I thought that was okay. It was like, but here's the thing: he wasn't trying to save anybody while he was fighting General Zod. At least this Superman, he's actually saving like a dog, a girl, a young girl, a woman. Henry Cavill's Superman, he was just focusing on the fight. He didn't like maybe somebody around him was in trouble and he didn't even try to help them. Now, the only person to be honest he really helped was Lois Lane. But like BVS, it showed how many people had died. And Superman didn't. Now, if I'm wrong, maybe Superman probably did save somebody. Uh, all I know is Lois Lane. I'm trying to think. Man of Steel. I think he was just. I think he only just saved Lois Lane. Um, but like this Superman, like people are in trouble around him while he's fighting, and he's going to save them. But overall, you're in a fight. There's going to be a damage. Like the building is going to maybe fall over while you're fighting. Like, okay, I get that. There's going to be destruction. Okay, that's why I never had a problem with it. It just felt like Superman wasn't trying to help anybody while he was fighting him. But overall, I didn't really hate that like buildings were falling. And then people will come online and say, "Oh, buildings are falling, guys," and y'all were talking about MOS because there's going to be there's destruction and Superman buildings are falling. Here's the thing: at least this Superman is actually trying to hold the building so the woman could get out. Uh, and like Henry Cavill during the fight, he didn't try to save anybody. Like a building would fall over and he just you know um but yeah, that's the fandom that we live in. They'll try to judge something and the movie hasn't, like, we have 3 months. Like I remember the first teaser trailer came out and it was good, man. I love that teaser trailer. And I loved it actually. But then I kept looking online. I see people coming on saying, "Guys, this looks terrible. Guys, the movie's gonna flop. This is bad. This is so bad. This is really, really bad. God, oh my gosh, guys, this is bad. This is really bad." We had 5 months left until we have 5 months left to go until the movie comes out, and we're already saying it's gonna be bad. You're already saying, "Guys, this is gonna flop," and we have 5 months left. People kept going online saying, "Guys, this shot looks bad." We have 5 months left, or 2 months. 2 months is a lot of time for James Gunn to get that fixed. You know, um, there was actually a flying scene recently, for Superman. It was on some news thing. Now I don't know if James Gunn gonna cut that flying scene out, but I mean, like it looks like it's better. Like at first, like he's kind of like cross-eyed, and then like once he turns his head, his eyes just go back to normal. That looks better. It looks better, but I kind of still hope he kind of cuts it out because people online just go to you know. Uh, but yeah, overall, uh, that's the fandom that we live in. That's the fandom that we live in, where we will judge a movie. We will start a movement to flop a movie. We will start a freaking movement, like a freaking wall of clothes movement, just to just because they didn't get their Snyderverse, they didn't get what they want. Oh my gosh, I'm going to try to boycott. I'm going to try to flop a movie because you didn't get your Snyderverse. I'm sorry, I don't want to be mean, but you know how childish that sounds? It's like saying, "Guys, I got my I got my phone taken away. I'm going to do everything I can just to, I don't know, hurt my mom or do something. Or I got my toy taken away. I'm just going to throw a big fit. I'm just gonna, oh man, I'm throwing a fit. I'm not gonna talk to my mom. I'm not gonna talk to my dad. I'm not gonna talk to anybody because I got my toy taken away." That's how the Snyder cultists are doing right now. The whole wall of clothes movement. Like, now I know boycotting has been going around for a while. It's just that I don't like, but it's like the movement. Like they're doing a movement, and like because you got your Snyderverse taken away from you. I get that you love your Snyderverse. I get that, but come on, man. Just trying to flop a movie because you didn't get your Snyderverse. I hear people all the time saying, "We want Snyderverse. We want," and these are grown men. Here's the thing. I'm a kid. I'm a kid. I probably would have done it, but like grown men, like come on. I see grown men posting videos saying "Wall of Clothes, July 11th," and I'm like, dude, like you're a grown man. Like you're trying to boycott, you're trying to ruin a movie because you didn't get your movie. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna flop this movie because I didn't get my movie. I didn't get what I want. Like, you're doing that. Like, why? You're a grown man. Like, a grown man is doing this. Like, I literally see people all the time online just doing that, trying to flop this movie because they didn't get their Snyderverse. Here's the thing, I like the Snyderverse. There were some things I didn't like. There was a lot of things I didn't like, but overall, I thought the Snyderverse was actually okay. I would have liked it back. I would like to see Zack Snyder's vision. But it's just that I wouldn't grow on a rampage because I didn't get what I want. Because Henry Cavill's fired, I'm automatically going to flop every James Gunn movie because I didn't get what I want. I didn't get this one or two or whatever movies, and I'm automatically going to flop this movie because I didn't get what I want. Like, is that what I'm hearing? That's what we're doing right now. We're going to flop every movie because we didn't get our Snyderverse. We didn't get our toy back. Like, that's where we sound. Now, I'm not saying that the Snyderverse is a toy. No, I love the Snyderverse. I'm not trying to hate on it. I'm not saying the Snyderverse is a toy, just, but it just, I don't like when, I don't get people who just try to boycott, try to flop a movie because they didn't get their movie. And remind you, these are grown people. These are grown men. And they're trying to just flop a movie because they didn't get their Snyderverse, because they didn't get their movie. Oh my gosh, I'm going to flop every movie because I didn't get my movie. I didn't get my movie. I'm going to flop this movie. I'm going to do everything I can. I want my Snyderverse back. Like, what? Dude, you know how it just, I'm not going to say how stupid that sounds because I'm not going to call you stupid because, I mean, you may have a good reason why. But I'm just going to right now say it's kind of childish. Like, here's the thing, when Henry Cavill was fired, I accepted it. I was like, okay, Henry Cavill's fired. He's fired. He's fired. I was like, at first I was like, dang. I was like, this can't be happening. But then over time, I was over it. I was like, you know what? Just let's embrace the future. Like, at least like we're getting another Superman movie. At least we're getting another DC. At least we're getting another Superman movie. Like, at least we're getting that. I know that Henry Cavill's fired, but it was the right thing. We really needed a full reboot. But then you have people I accept the fact that Henry Cavill's gone. I was like, dang it. But let's just see how this Superman movie does. At least we're getting a Superman movie. At least that we're getting a Superman movie. But you have people going online, just they can't let it go. They can't let it go. They just can't let it go. They're like, oh no, I want Snyderverse. I always thought to myself when I heard people say that. I always thought I think what every kid these days hear is that you get what you get, you don't throw a fit. You know, that's what they sound like. They say, "Oh no, I want my Snyderverse. No, I don't want James Gunn Superman." Every time I hear somebody say that, I just think of that word, those words. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. That's all I hear in my head because that's what we're acting like right now. But that's where we live in. I'm not trying to hate on them or anything. I'm just saying I don't respect what they're trying to do. They're trying to fire people. They're trying to ruin people's lives, James Gunn's life, because they didn't get their Snyderverse. But I'm just gonna let that slide. I'm just gonna let that go. But moving on, I want to talk about, should the Batman, like Matt Reeves' Batman, be in the DCU? Should he be in like the DCU Batman? And I'm like, I'm right now like, I hear people coming online saying it's a good thing, maybe it can happen, maybe it can't happen. I'm like, I'm actually right now saying it actually can happen. Like, Matt Reeves could insert his Batman to the DCU. He could. There's some negative things, there's some good things. I'm just going to say, where I'm at right now, I won't be mad if they insert him into the DCU, and I won't be mad if they didn't. I'm like right now, like, I don't care what you do. As long as if it's good. I hope, and you know what? I mean, the dynamic, like, you could already see the dynamic between David Cornswell's Superman and Matt Reeves' Batman. I already heard recently, and I'm super excited that Matt Reeves finished the Batman script. I'm happy for that. I'm really excited, But then I just keep thinking after that, like, should the Batman actually be in the DCU? Now, Gunn has already said millions of times, no, no, we thought of it, but no, 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 you know. Um, he said, like, there's like a 1% or 2% chance that maybe yes, but like, he ain't gonna go as far as saying there's a 70% chance because it might not happen. Even Matt Reeves came out and said, no, he doesn't want his Batman to be part of the DCU because he wants his Batman to be realistic. So overall, Matt Reeves' Batman ain't gonna be in the DCU. Matt Reeves doesn't want it. James Gunn, to be honest, doesn't want it because Matt Reeves wants his Batman to be really realistic. He doesn't want his Batman to be in a fantasy world where heroes can, like, people can fly, breathe underwater. There's an island full of women. Themyscira. There's a man who can who's fast as a speeding bullet. You know, he wants his universe, like, Batman is like probably like the only hero, the only vigilante. His Batman is just really realistic, so it's not going to happen because Matt Reeves doesn't want it. You know, so we're getting a Batman that's really fantasized. Now here's the thing, guys. I'm going to tell you this. What I want to see for this DCU Batman, I want to see a Batman who could fight Clayface, who could fight Mr. Freeze, who could fight, like, we haven't got, like, a really fantasized Batman. Besides for Ben Affleck's Batman, it's probably some iteration, but, like, I want to see a Batman who could fight Deathstroke, who could fight Poison Ivy. I want to see more of a comic booky Batman who had Robin and Dick. I want to see that kind of Batman. I want to see more, like, if you read the comics, like Batman Hush, maybe, maybe World's Finest, whatever comics you read, that kind of Batman, that Batman, a more fantasized, technological Batman who has, like, a lot of gear. I think the best example is Arkham Batman. Like Arkham Knight's Batman, Arkham City, like that kind of Batman. That's the Batman I really want to see. A Arkham kind of Batman. I really want to see that Batman. So that's the Batman I want to see. So is Robert Pattinson, if he inserts himself to the DCU, is that going to ruin that? Honestly, no. One, this Batman is in his year, what, like, two? Yeah, two, because the Batman 2 is taking, like, what, a month or, like, weeks after the Batman or Penguin. So, but they could also time jump. If you don't know probably what time jump means, is the Brave and the Bold could come up, like, the beginning of the movie could say 9 years after the Batman Part 2. They skipped, like, I don't know, 8 years. You know, and now Robert Pattinson is at his years where he's more experienced, where he has more technological advancements, where he has Robin already. He's older, you know, like, technology kind of grew. Maybe he's already has his bat cake, whatever, where he could glide now. Like, that kind of Batman. Like, he can just time skip. We could just time skip the Batman Part 2 and Brave and the Bold. Like, could be the same thing, where this Brave and the Bold is actually Robert Pattinson but older. Like, Brave and the Bold could take 8 years later after the Batman Part 2. It could do that. It could do that. It really could. It'll also do great for the DCU because, people know the Batman and people gonna be like, man, I'm excited. Like, it's directed by Matt Reeves. It's played by the same actors. Man, I mean, I'm going to watch that. Like, I believe if the Batman was inserted into the DCU, the box office would do really good. Um, but, you know, there are some probably negatives in my opinion because, one, even though, like, it's to me it's too realistic. It's just too realistic. I know. Oh well, he's in his year 2. I get that, but, like, it just feels a little bit too realistic. Like, I've seen a lot of Batman, like, in his year 2, like Arkham Origins. What year was he on? I think he was on year 1, and, like, dude, he was able to face Croc. He was able to, like, glide around Gotham City. He was able to grapple hook, fight Bane. a more, bigger, tougher Bane, had a better Batcave, and he was in his year 1. Now I know they could probably just say, "Oh, let's do something different for this DCU. Let's make a Batman who's like he's in his time, like it was really realistic, and then over time it became." They actually could do that, but like, what timeline? I think the problem that's going to be in it be is the timeline. Like, what timeline? What's the time that the Batman takes in? Is it in the 19s? Is it in the 20s? Now, what we have saw in the Batman, it has to be like in the 20s. We saw iPhones, we saw more advanced cars, so it has to be somewhere around the 20s. Now, and then like if we continue like 9 years later, but it's like so like it has to do with the timeline for the Batman. Is because the Batman takes place what in 20 maybe like in 2020. When does Superman take place? Superman takes place like in 20 something because they have iPhones and stuff. Um, but they could just do for the DCU maybe just this Batman is just in his year 2. But I don't want a Batman who's in his year 2. If this Batman just stays in his year 2, or year 3 or year 4, to me he's still not experienced. Now year 4 maybe yeah probably year 4, but like year 2, like that's to me that's not experience for a Batman character, for he's not able to fight Darkseid, he's not able to fight, to be honest, parademons. He's you know and be honest, at his time, he's probably not even be able to beat Green Arrow or a lot of the characters. So I hope they don't do a bad. If they like insert Robert Pattinson's Batman into the DCU, if they do that, please don't do a Batman where he's still in his year 2 or 3. I want a more experienced Batman where he is very experienced. But to me, it's timeline. It's the timeline. Where, like, when does the Batman take place? It has to take place around the 20s because you see iPhones, you see more advanced cars. Same thing goes to Superman. You see more, and that Batman's in his year 2. So if you time skip to 8 years, like, it just, to me, it's going to be kind of confusing. Because when does Superman take place? Do they take place, like, around the same time? Did they like do both Superman? Like maybe the Batman probably takes place maybe 2020, maybe 2018, 2017. They could do that, but it just feels like you see those advanced cars. You see like you see more advanced, a little bit advanced stuff that looks like they're in like 20 something, 2020, 2021. Superman, even though sure people like the way people wear their stuff, like the clothes they wear, it looks more like 19. But like you see iPhones. I think you saw like Lex Luthor's tower. You saw computers that look advanced. Daily Planet. You saw those computers. Like to me, it's the timeline. You have to say what's the timeline? What timeline does the Batman take place in? The 20s, the 19s. What timeline does Superman take place in? Because they can't be near each other. I mean, they could, but that goes against what I was trying to say, where I don't want a Batman that is in his year 2 or 3. I want a Batman who's in his year 10, 8, a more experienced and older Batman. Now, not old like, oh, in his 50s or like 48. No, I want a Batman who's probably like maybe in his 40, like 40 years old, 38, 39. But to me, it's timeline that could go wrong, and also the realistic aspect of this Batman, where Matt Reeves' Batman is way more realistic. And also, in this universe, you don't hear, because here's the thing, if like say like the Batman 2 already came out, say the Batman 2 already just came out, Superman, they told us that superheroes, metahumans, have been around for 300 years. In the Batman, we have never heard, they never mentioned any metahumans. They never now I'm not saying they have to, but like we never got any mention of any metahumans or anything. We like, we got any mention of, not super well, like just not mention any mention of anything. But that's really the gist of it. That's the things that could go wrong if they do it. It's going to be confusing to the audience. It's like, again, go back to the Batman Part 2. Just imagine if the Batman Part 2 just doesn't mention anything about any metahumans or anything. Just doesn't mention anything DCU related, like, but like we all know that this Batman ain't go to like the Batman Matt Reeves Batman ain't going to be part of the DCU. I don't know why people keep coming online saying, guys, Matt Reeves Batman gonna be part of the DCU. Guys, no, no. Matt Reeves stated, James Gunn stated. People keep saying, oh, they go change their mind. No, no. To be honest, it feels like after part two, it feels like it's like you already have your Riddler, but again, going back to the things that could work, box office, you could time skip. You could time skip way like 9 years later, but then it goes back to the timeline. Like, when does the Batman take place? When does the Batman Part 2 take place? What year? I think they stated in the movie, but like, to be honest, like, it looks like in his 20s, in like 2020, 20 something. Superman, even though sure, uh, it looks a bit, 19s because the way people dress. But like you see iPhones, you see Lex Luthor's tower that looks way too advanced to be, you know, you see Mr. Terrific, you know, you see the computers. So it depends is when does the Batman take place and when does Superman take place, and again if they both take place around like 2 years, that's still too not experienced for me. I want a more experienced Batman. I don't want a year two Batman for the DCU. Here's the thing. I'm not saying I don't want a year two Batman. I don't want to see a year two Batman at all. No, I want to see a year two Batman. I do. I really do. I think a year two Batman for like Matt Reeves' universe is right now is doing really good. But for the DCU, where you're going to have Darkseid, Brainiac, powerful villains, you already have Doctor Phosphorus, I think that's his name. You already have Clayface. If you already have Clayface, you might as well have Mr. Freeze, and Ivy. Like the Batman, that Batman that we see in the movie, he can't take on Clayface. To be honest, because to be honest, I feel like Rick Flag could beat the Batman, but they could time skip. But the thing is, to me, is the timeline. But that's really the gist of it. That's really that. There's a good thing. There's a good side, and there's a bad side. I'm gonna say overall, it could happen, but it's going to be a bit too confusing for the audience, in my opinion, because they're going to be like, oh, wait, so what time, like, what was the year that the Batman took place in? And also, I think people don't want to see a year two Batman in the DCU, or year three. They want to see an experienced Batman. Now, not experienced Batman where he's in his, like, he's 50 or 40, like 40, like 48, 49. No, like, maybe around his, like, just 40 years old or 39. But we don't want to see a Batman in his year 2. Like, we may want to see a Batman in his year 10, year 15, year 12, year 8. But I just don't want, I want a more experienced Batman. But to me, it's the timeline. There's a good side, box office. People are going to see the movie. It's just that, to me, it's the timeline. What year does the timeline, like, what year does the Batman take place? And what year does Superman take place? If, if they both take place around the same time, sure, yeah, but you get a year two Batman for the DCU. Like, it doesn't feel right to me. I hope they, to be honest, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. I hope they don't do it. I hope they don't do it. Matt Reeves' Batman to me is too realistic. It'll be confusing. I just want, I want a younger Batman who. Now I'm talking about for Matt Reeves' Batman. I want a younger Batman, less experienced. Just do your own world. Elseworld Batman, and then just get your more fantastical Batman. People keep coming online. I heard James Gunn said, "Oh, guys, I'm having trouble doing the Batman script because there's been so many iterations of Batman." I agree. There has been a lot of iterations of Batman. But you could do something different. Like maybe Deathstroke could be your villain. We haven't had like we were going to get like a Deathstroke like Batman, versus Deathstroke, but we really haven't we didn't get that yet, and I would really like that. I would really like to see Deathstroke versus Batman. I'm sorry for the whole noise thing. That was just something going on, but I want to see Um, Batman fighting Deathstroke. You know, we could get Ra's al Ghul back. We could get the League of Assassins back. We could get something new, just something new. You know, but what's your thoughts? What you think they could do for the DCU Batman? I would like to see a Arkham Batman, like a Arkham kind of Batman. But what you think? Do you think the Batman should be in the DCU? Tell me in the comments below. But that's it, guys. Thank you for the 12 subscribers, guys. Thank you for the last video. I saw the comments. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it, guys. But also, I want to make an announcement, guys, that I will not be doing a video on Friday, probably Saturday and Sunday, because I'm going to be out of town. So do not expect me to do a video on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But thank you for the 12 subscribers. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please tell me in the comments section what you thought. Should the Batman be a part of the DCU? So thank you. Have a great day.